Did you know that the biggest ranking factor for Google actually doesn't come from SEO? It comes from CRO, conversion rate optimization. Google looks at not just what keywords you're ranking for on the page, through your content, through your technicals, through your backlinking, but most important to them is the user experience. Imagine if Google sent a ton of traffic to websites that they ranked for positive keywords, but when they got to that site, they had a poor user experience, they didn't engage in conversion actions, and worst case, they bounced off very quickly from the site. Unsurprisingly, like any good big brother, Google is tracking all of those user metrics and using that to evaluate how, where, and when to rank your website. So, as SEOs, we have to be multidisciplined ninjas and figure out not only how to master the art of SEO, but we have to get really good CRO chops too. Thankfully, agentic marketing platforms like SaagaSolve make this a breeze. In SaagaSolve, I've built a custom Bounce Rate Analyst Agent. What it does is it accesses my Google Analytics properties, my Google Search Console properties, and analyzes what pages have a low bounce rate, what is struggling to appease that user experience on which keywords, and then hypothesizes why based on a bunch of information it scrapes from the site and preceded CRO best practices. Now, first things first, technical setup is we'll have to make sure the agent has access to our analytics account. This is a great thing about SaagaSolve and just the level of customization, although it could be a little overwhelming, which is exactly why I'm here to help you with that. Whenever you have an agent in SaagaSolve, and you can build a wealth of agents, as you see mine here, all tailored to my workflows, you'll have to go ahead and designate which properties that agent can actually analyze. So right in here, I'm going to hover over my agent. I'm going to click those three dots and I'm going to hit Edit Agent. In the top bar here, I'm going to hit Access with the key. And then I can see, hey, Google Analytics is connected to this email and which properties within that email it has access to. In this case, I'm going to audit SaagaSolve itself. This level of customization is great so you can tailor it to your level of client data access restrictions. A, if you want your agent to just focus on one website, either a client or your own, or B, maybe you want to give it the full breadth of your business and focus on that. Whatever works for you, but SaagaSolve doesn't force you to choose, which I love about the platform. From there, because this is a custom built agent, I already have this system prompt pre-seeded in so that my prompts for the analysis can be quite rudimentary and simple because the more complicated prompt is already built in here. I'm going to simply say, look at Google Analytics for SaagaSolve.com. Identify which money page. When we say money page, what we're meaning is which are the important conversion driving pages. So identify which money page has the highest bounce rate and conduct a CRO analysis to hypothesize why. First things first, it verifies it has access to that property, which it does. It pulls in the data from Google Analytics directly. Also, I love that SaagaSolve is a kind of show your work kind of platform, showing me exactly what the data is, where it's pulling it from in analytics. Really helps just as a human verify the output of AI, make sure it's not hallucinating and pulling data out of thin air. Once it's identified the page, it's going to scrape that page using Firecrawl, and it can actually see the exact content on that page. It's going to write in a Lighthouse audit report to see metrics like speed, performance, accessibility, etc. And then it's going to synthesize that data and figure out why the bounce rate is so high on the identified page. It's identified that the bounce rate is highest on the competitor analysis tool page. It only has 19 sessions and a bounce rate of near 80%, which is significant. Average engagement time is 14 seconds, which lags behind other key pages as well. So you can see, for instance, this blog here has a whole minute and 52 seconds, which is great. That means users are staying on this and they're being engaged. 14 seconds with such a high bounce rate is that people come here, they don't stick, and when they do stick, it's not for that much longer anyway. We can even see the device breakdown. If there's a user experience issue impacting a certain device, however, this all looks pretty consistent. Mobile is notably worse, suggesting mobile UX issues compound the problem as the AI accurately identified, but it's not that much of a difference where I would say, hey, something's broken on mobile that maybe isn't broken on desktop. However, as always, we should have special considerations for viewports for different devices. But let's see what SaagaSolve thinks is the issue. So 1, catastrophic above the fold failure, no value proposition. So it's saying, hey, we're opening with a massive here that says competitor analysis tool with the tagline, uncover your competitors' SEO strategies. This is feature focused, not benefit focused, right? So content and user psychology plays a lot of a role in making that first impression on the page, making sure that you're speaking quickly to who's this for, why should you care, why should you give me your time and attention on this page. It gives us a suggestion on how to rewrite this. For instance, see exactly how competitors outrank you and steal their winning strategies in minutes. I mean, that has a lot more oomph right off the bat than something like competitor analysis tool, uncover your competitors' SEO strategies, right? Like in minutes, see how your competitors rank you and steal their winning strategies. Just a lot more impactful there. We're not going to go through every little thing here, but just to quickly bounce these off. No immediate interactive element or tool preview. So we're bringing people to our tool page, but we're not showing them under the hood, what is this tool, right? There's no way to interact with it, especially on tool-driven pages in this age of kind of experiential marketing, where people are looking for an experience, not to be sold to. That's a great thing that we can develop on that page to let people try before they buy, or in this case, try before they book a demo, try before they invest their time in trying out the tool themselves, right? So maybe an interactive demo or free input field for other verticals, right? Like let's say local services businesses where, hey, I can't add a tool preview. That's just not applicable here. What you can think about is before and after comparisons, videos. Just think of how can we give the user the sense of, I know what I'm getting into before they make the commitment to build that confidence. That matters incredible ton for CRO, all about confidence building and trust building. Wall of text, poor content scannability. Unfortunately, people are getting more and more illiterate, and we do have to break up text with imagery, with videos, with rich media. And that also helps a lot with GEO and AI rankings, as well as that multi-modal content, providing content in various ways to appease a whole crowd. Moderate issues. So we got a weak buried CTA, missing trust signals. Trust signals, think of like companies, notable companies who use this tool, or G2 awards, things like that, right? Mobile performance issues that I got from Lighthouse, and some recommendations on how to fix. So these are really like speed issues, accessibility issues, things of that nature. And internal linking gaps, right? Making sure when we do get people on the page, we're funneling them into deeper pages to help build their understanding if they're just not ready to do that conversion action. Ideally, though, they do that conversion action. So boom, it's done all that for me. It's spat out an action plan. You guys, this took literally 2 minutes from prompt to end-to-end result. And now I have 8 actions I can do. Honestly, all relatively low effort. Even the things that they're flagging as moderate here, super easy fixes, especially with agentic workflows, of course. So 8 action items I can take internally to the team to improve the bounce rate of that page. One other thing I want to leave you with real quick, a common misconception is that bounce rate or any metric on a page is just isolated to that page when it comes to rankings. Google evaluates domain health as a whole. So we don't want to have weak links on our team, especially with money pages. So if you have one money page that is performing really poorly, even if maybe that's not your most important service or product, I highly recommend auditing it, of course, with SaagaSolve to save you the time and headache, and fixing that, because that will improve the domain health as a whole. Happy pages make happy rankings. My name is Laura Cardona. I'm a seasoned SEO. If you haven't tried Agentic marketing solutions yet for your SEO, I promise you are being left behind. Not you're going to be left behind. This is actively happening. This is where the industry is moving. It's not to replace you, but there's no reason you need to be using a screwdriver when everybody has drills at this point. That's SaagaSolve.com.